I'm gonna give you my top 5 ways to age backwards in 2026. And this is gonna be backed by all the latest research and science. For those of you that are new here, what's up? I'm Natasha. I am a mom of 4, just recently turned 40, living my best life, and I'm a certified hormone coach. So I teach women how to really re-regulate their nervous system, their hormones, and their feminine energy so you can actually age backwards, so you can actually start to look younger, feel younger, and feel the best you've ever your entire life. We're talking your skin, your hair, your nails, your metabolism. No more suffering from perimenopause, no more suffering from PCOS or menopause, post-menopause. No, we are in a completely different era, ladies, and we have so many tools to actually help us age backwards. So I'm gonna go through my top 5 today that are gonna be the biggest game changers for you in 2026. Okay, let's jump into it. So this is beyond, the basic Botox or facelifts or whatever. None of those things are gonna help your cells biologically age backwards. You can get all the Botox you want, I'm not against that, but it's not going to affect your organs. It's not going to affect your inside. And I'm all about helping you not only look and feel younger, but also prevent the diseases and the cancers and the things that are taking people out way too young. I actually lost my first husband to colon cancer. So that's what really has spearheaded my love and my passion for helping people get this knowledge and these tools young. I want to see you live a very long and healthy life. I want you to have so much energy, ladies, that you are running around with your grandbabies and your great grandbabies and you're looking like a hot, delicious snack, okay? And honestly, I love all 5 of these things equally. But if I had to pick one, like literally I was forced to only pick one thing that I was only allowed to do, this thing would probably be my number 1 thing. And that is starting on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. There's so much misconceptions around bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, not to be mistaken with synthetic hormone replacement therapy. That is different. And just recently, in late 2025, a new research study came out. It was a retrospective study of 120 million women, perimenopause, menopause age. And they found that the women that had started on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy early had a 60% reduction in the chances of getting breast cancer, strokes, and heart attacks. The number 1 killer for women is heart attacks. The number 2 killer is cancer. Of all the Alzheimer's cases, 2/3 of them are women. Why is that? Because women's estrogen and all of our hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, tank in our 40s. They start to go down in our late 30s and they tank in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. And for so many years, because there was a horrible research study that came out in the early 2000s that said that hormone replacement therapy caused cancer. There were so many flaws in that research study, but it didn't matter with the medical community. This is why you'll see most doctors and just most people, clinicians, nurse practitioners, everyone is just afraid of hormone replacement therapy, and they'll tell you it causes stroke, it causes breast cancer, all these things because of this one research study that recently has been debunked. So fast forward into 2025, late 2025, they came out with, thank God for AI and research and all the new research studies that are coming out right now that is just giving us all these tools and new information, new updated information, so we don't have to live in the dark ages anymore, ladies. This retrospective study of 120 million people actually showed that actually starting on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy early will significantly reduce your chances of developing the cancers, the strokes, and the heart attacks, the Alzheimer's, the osteoporosis, the diabetes. Estrogen is your fountain of youth hormone, okay? So estrogen is what's going to help you not be holding on to that stubborn belly fat, because when your estrogen levels tank, you become insulin resistant. This is why if you notice, once you approach 40, your hormones change, you start accumulating all this fat in your belly that maybe you didn't have before, or like the back of your arms. Maybe you notice that your skin is more saggy, more loose in your face, all over your body. Maybe your hair is getting thinner. This has to do with your estrogen. Estrogen is a major anti-inflammatory for a woman. That's what I need you to understand. So you can imagine now, you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, inflammation markers have gone up. We already know that inflammation is the biggest thing that leads to so many diseases and cancers in the body and the breakdown of the body. Also, your insulin resistance goes up. So now you're storing all this belly fat. And then on top of it, your skin, all the skin changes happen in your face, in your body, all over. It's from the lack of estrogen. So I'm not even talking about the mental health changes that women go through. So if you're a middle-aged woman and you notice that you're more anxious, you're more stressed, things just stress you out more than before, maybe you're not sleeping properly, you have brain fog, all of these things can be reversed with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Not only estrogen, but progesterone if you have a uterus, because you need to be on progesterone as well if you do have a uterus, and then also testosterone if you're a good fit for it. I recently started on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I got my hormones checked, of course, first, and it has been such a game changer for me. Just having my strength and my energy and my drive back, my stamina, so I can actually get more things done and not feel so fatigued and exhausted. Okay, and then of course, it helps with your skin, helps with your metabolism, helps with that fat burning metabolism, helps with all of those things. So if you're interested in getting on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, because obviously it's not for everybody, nothing I'm saying on here is medical advice. You got to go talk to your doctor first. I'm just giving you options, all right? So you want to talk to a doctor that actually specializes in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which should be most primary care doctors, most nurse practitioners, and most functional med doctors. But from my experience this year, because I do coach a lot of women and I help them talk with their doctors about these things, a lot of doctors, nurse practitioners, even functional med doctors are still living in the dark ages. They are not up to date on all this new research. And so for a lot of them, they deny bioidentical hormone replacement therapy for their patients. So you need to ask around in your area, do some Google searches. There's a lot of telehealth options now. And you just got to ask the doctor if that doctor specializes in women that are perimenopause, menopause, and is also specialized in giving bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Okay, so, and of course, if you have more questions, drop them below. I don't want this video to be too long. And this is my first point only. So you can drop your questions below. And of course, I'm so happy to answer more questions for you. Okay, but that is definitely my number one thing to help you look and feel younger for a very long time. The number two thing that's going to help you literally age backwards is getting on a metabolic stabilizer. So something that helps regulate your blood sugar and your insulin. Nothing will age you faster than high blood sugar and high insulin. I'm talking increasing inflammation in your body, causing you to store that stubborn belly fat, and also breaking down your collagen so your skin looks old. It's going to cause the achy joints, just that slow sluggishness that comes from insulin resistance. Did you know, ladies, that only 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy? 88% of people walking around right now are metabolically unhealthy. This is why so many people have high blood pressure, they get strokes, heart attacks, cancers, not to mention they have a hard time losing weight. Now there's different ways you can do this. I'm gonna give you my top ways to re-regulate your metabolism and your blood sugar and your insulin. But it's so interesting because Dr. David Sinclair has been talking about this for years. If you guys are familiar with him, he's one of the longevity doctors from Harvard, and he was talking about for so long getting on things like metformin to help regulate your blood sugar and your insulin. These are diabetic medications. But because of our food environment and all the food noise that we have, and just our environment in general, most people have insulin issues. Most people are pre-diabetic and they don't even know. This is how you can tell if you're metabolically totally unhealthy without getting any blood work done, okay? I want you to go and measure your height and then measure your waistline. Your waist, that dimension, needs to be under 50% of your height. If your waist is larger than 50% of your height, I can already tell that you're gonna be metabolically unhealthy. So, and once again, this is most people. So, okay, so what are my favorite, backed by so much research, metabolic stabilizers? GLPs. Getting on a microdose of a GLP may be, for some of you, for a lot of you probably, one of the simplest tools you can get on to help really re-regulate your insulin levels, your appetite, your blood sugar, and your weight. Not only that, there's so much research out now that shows how it lowers your inflammation markers in your body. This is actually a key longevity tool in 2026. This is why you see so many people getting on them now compared to before, because all this new research coming out showing how people are losing weight, they're breaking addictions, they're breaking emotional eating addictions, drinking, they're just not craving the junk food like they used to. And it's so simple to use. My husband, Coach B, is on a GLP. We're just microdosing, and it's been working beautiful for him. He has melted 20 pounds already. The weird thing is he actually even stopped snoring. I was just telling him that last night. I'm like, you don't even snore anymore. And it's probably because of the weight loss that he's had. You don't want to go on a GLP, something that I take that's a natural alternative to a GLP injection, which, by the way, you can drink a GLP and you can inject a GLP. And microdosing is a lot different than taking a normal big dose of a GLP. So there's less side effects. So you have a lot of options. And also I just want to mention, if you are going to do a GLP, please make sure it is a prescription grade GLP coming from a 503A pharmacy. Do not order the semaglutides, the retatrutides, the tirzepatides online from one of those research labs that say it's for animals. That is their way of not taking responsibility if something happens to you. It is not regulated unless you get it from an actual prescribing medical doctor, a board certified medical doctor, and they are sending it to you from an actual pharmacy, an actual compounded pharmacy. I'll of course leave my links below for pharmacies that I trust and just a doctor that I trust that you can order this from. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. One of the alternatives, and this is an alternative that I'm on, is a yerba mate tea. So yerba mate has been shown. Now I specifically take the Unamate yerba mate. It's a more purified, potent form of the GLP booster. It has been shown to increase GLP levels by 100-fold just from drinking a tea. And I drink that twice a day. Same thing, it re-regulates your appetite, your blood sugar levels, your insulin levels, helps with your gut, inflammation, mental clarity, all of that. And then another option too, like Dr. David Sinclair talks about, is being on something like a metformin. Now, of course, there's other ways to regulate your blood sugar and your insulin, like intermittent fasting, having enough protein in your meals, all that stuff. But I'm talking about if you need to bring out the big guns and you are really struggling with your weight, you're really struggling with that stubborn belly fat, your blood sugar, your insulin, you really want to take it to that next level with biohacking and longevity, then I really encourage you. I encourage all of my ladies in my communities, in my Feminine Energy Academy and in my biohacking community, to get on something that helps regulate their blood sugar and their insulin. There's no reason for you to be having PCOS or fibroids or junk food cravings, that stubborn belly fat. You don't need to have that anymore. There's too many tools out there for you to help reverse these things. Okay, number 3, we are going to start really working on your mitochondrial health in all of your cells. This is going to help your energy so much. And my number 3 best option for 2026 is methylene blue. Now, you might have heard of methylene blue trending on TikTok, but let's talk about it, and I'm going to tell you how to actually source a reliable form of methylene blue, because you have to be so careful when you are ordering methylene blue. So methylene blue is, yes, it's a synthetic dye, but it's actually been around forever. It's a really strong antiviral, antibacterial. The biggest reason why I take methylene blue, and I have my husband taking methylene blue, because it actually boosts your cellular ATP, your cellular energy. What you'll notice when you start on methylene blue is your mental clarity, your cognitive function is going to go up so much. Now, I used to be on ADD medications. Yes, I was on Dexedrine for so long, like through my university days. When I was a single mom, I was on ADD meds. And thankfully last year I came off of it. But taking methylene blue for me has been like going back on a ADD medication, but so much better because there's no side effects. And now methylene blue is not for everybody. If you are going to take methylene blue, you have to make sure that it's not contraindicated for any medications that you might be on. For example, like an SSRI or 5-HTP, you don't want to be on any of those things because it actually increases your mood. So a lot of people will actually be able to come off of SSRIs and mood stabilizers while on methylene blue, but of course you need to do this under the care of a medical doctor. And you want to get a prescription grade methylene blue. You do not want to order a methylene blue from Amazon because it's not regulated. You have no idea what's in it. There could be metals in it, there could be toxins in it, and you just don't want to mess around when it comes to your cellular health. You know, you could have some serious side effects, okay? Of course, I will leave you my trusted supplier to get a prescription grade methylene blue that I'm on, that my husband's on, and that I get my clients to go on as well. Okay, hopefully you're still with me. Another huge game changer that's going to help you look and feel so much better is NAD. So I started on NAD just a few months ago, the injectables. I did start off with the oral version. I didn't notice a big difference. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll show you the ones that I got from Amazon. Tried that out for about 3 months. Didn't notice a difference. Then I switched to NAD injections. Game changer, ladies. We naturally produce NAD, but it goes down by 50% by the time you are 40. NAD is essential for mitochondrial health and for cellular DNA repair. It helps your cells actually repair themselves. So you know, this is how I explain it to my ladies. We have these natural ways that our cells repair themselves. But when cells don't repair themselves properly and they're in a really toxic environment with a lot of inflammation, a lot of blood sugar, a lot of insulin, that's what can cause those mutations to grow and turn into things like cancers, right? So we really want to support our body's way of repairing DNA and our cells. So NAD is one of the best ways to do that. But what you will notice when you start taking NAD is your energy levels will go through the roof. Your mental clarity will go through the roof. You are just gonna, it's like somebody turned on the lights. That's how I feel in the last few months. I am buzzing with energy every day. Just as an example, I'm perimenopause age. I'm in my luteal cycle, like the luteal phase of my cycle. And before I was like, that would just put me out. I was just like, nap, can't do anything. Now I am buzzing with energy. That's because of these things that I'm teaching you, ladies. But the NAD has been such a game changer. Not only that, it's going to help lower oxidative stress in the body. It's going to lower inflammation in the body. It's going to help you with your skin, wrinkles, girl, okay? Just your overall appearance is going to help you look more youthful. What I need you to know is NAD is not very bioavailable when you take it orally. Yes, you can try it, and if you like it, okay. I honestly gave it a good try, but it just didn't make a difference. So, of course, once again, don't just buy NAD from some supplier on the internet. You don't know what you're getting. You can either go to a wellness center and or a Medi-Spa or longevity spa and get the injections in the IVs, or you can do it at home like what I do. And of course, I will leave the link below and you can check it out and you can see what I use. Last but not least, another one of my absolute favorite peptides is glutathione. Ladies, glutathione is such a game changer for not only increasing your energy, but helping you look so much younger. So first of all, glutathione is a master antioxidant. It's another thing that our body naturally produces, but goes down significantly, like literally falls off a cliff by the time you're 40 years old. It's another reason why we feel slow and sluggish. So what glutathione does is it actually neutralizes heavy metals, molds, free radicals, neutralizes them so they don't become harmful, and then it actually allows us to just urinate it out. And it's going to help to naturally detoxify the liver. So if you have a sluggish liver, you got fatty liver, you have estrogen dominance, all these things are signs of a slow, sluggish liver. That's why when you start on glutathione, especially if you're taking it with things like NAD, these things work synergistically together. Methylene blue, optimizing your hormones on top of it, optimizing your blood sugar and your insulin levels on top of it. all of these things work synergistically together, and this is what causes you to have so much energy, so much mental alertness. But the other thing I love about glutathione is not only the energy that it gives me, because I take it 3 times a week, and my husband as well, with my NAD and everything else that I take, but it makes your skin so much more brighter. So, and actually plump. Like, you'll notice your skin will be more plump. I've heard of other people getting this as well, where your lips are just a little bit more full. Your skin's just like a little bit more plump because it is just more hydrated. It's just more awake. And then, of course, I'm taking it because you want to be on something that's detoxing your body, detoxing your liver. And then also the fact that it's neutralizing heavy metals. So many people are just full of heavy metals and molds and toxins, and a lot of people don't even realize it, right? So, and that's what causes that cellular damage and the inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Now, with glutathione, once again, it is not very bioavailable when you take it orally. Now, there is one source of oral glutathione that I do trust. It's by Brian Johnson. You guys probably have heard of him. I'll show you the product there. My husband and I are on that as well. I didn't notice the same energy effects or skin effects compared to when we started taking it in the injectable form. So we still love that product. I think it's a great product, and I actually have my teenage son on it for that reason. But I really do prefer the injectable form of glutathione. That's what's going to make it 100% bioavailable, because you're completely bypassing your digestive tract. It's getting absorbed right into the bloodstream. And that's when you'll notice that day. Like, we'll take our NAD and our glutathione together, and then we also take our methylene blue, and we'll just notice that day so much energy. And then, of course, the skin changes and everything. And I was thinking about this the other day because I'm also on the Glow Stack. I won't get into that today. More peptides. I'm obsessed with peptides. But I'm also on the Glow Stack. But if I had to choose between the Glow Stack and the NAD with the glutathione with the methylene blue, or even just the NAD and glutathione, I would pick the NAD and the glutathione, because you're going to get the energy boost, the mental clarity, and the skin benefits. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you guys have any more questions. There's so many other things that I'm on, but these are just my top 5 absolute favorite things I recommend to all my ladies, if you're a good fit, to help you age backwards in 2026.